I seen him fight his last fight. He was tired in that 12-round span. Like, you could tell every time he fight, it's always like a gas tank problem or.
For anybody. But, Tank is a different animal too. So it's a great fight. That's why everybody want to see it. We can't just look at it and say, oh, he gonna win, oh, he gonna win. No.
And he's very obedient to Tank's power. And Lamont wasn't there that night. Lamont wasn't having it.
Shakur Stevenson has a strong message for Lamont Roach. Don't even think about facing Gervonta "Tank" Davis again. He called Davis the top fighter in the sport right now, especially known for his knockout power. Shakur made it clear, Tank isn't giving second chances, and Roach won't get lucky twice. With Davis in peak form, Shakur warned that Roach should seriously reconsider or be ready for the fallout.
I think it'll be a chess match. I think it'll be a boxing match. People talk about his power. His power is great. You could clearly tell that he's cracking.
Shakur Stevenson openly admits that a fight with Gervonta Davis would be the hardest test of his career. He respects Davis's power, talent, and unpredictable style, calling him a real threat in the ring. Shakur knows it wouldn't be an easy battle and gives credit where it's due, recognizing that Davis is the kind of opponent who could truly push him to the edge.
What would be your hardest matchup? Devin Haney, Tank, or would it be Ryan Garcia?
Nah, Ryan, just X him out. He's trash. It's gonna be Tank. I ain't say it before, but I'm gonna say it like me and him the big fight.
Gervonta Davis is turning heads with new training footage that shows him in peak shape, stronger, sharper, and more focused than ever. His tweet, "Somebody is in trouble," has fans fired up, signaling that he's ready to dominate. Boxing legend Roy Jones Jr. described Davis as a whole different kind of beast. While he admits the fight could be close, he believes Tank's power and skill will shine through. Jones predicts Davis will take charge and prove once again why he's a fighter no one should overlook. Roy Jones Jr. describes Gervonta Davis as a whole different kind of beast in the ring. While he admits the upcoming fight could go either way, he's confident that Tank's raw power and sharp skills will rise to the top. Jones expects Davis to take control and show exactly why he's a fighter that should never be underestimated.
Saturday night, Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach. What are we expecting from this fight?
Well, we're expecting Gervonta to just continue to show us his dominance and show us who he really is. It's really a coming out part of the Roach because I've ever seen him a lot. So he get to show people what he has too. And usually when you get two guys who are boxers, amateurs, it's going to equate to a good fight for the first two rounds. But then in the pro round takeover, we'll find out, has Roach adjusted to being a pro yet? Or is Tank too superior now as a pro? And that's where the difference is coming in at.
Roach is coming up on weight. That, a lot of people keep on saying that's a very big disadvantage for Roach. His power might not transfer to, to this weight class. What do you got to say about that to the critics?
Well, I ain't really got nothing to say to the critics because most times they don't know the hell they talking about no weight, but I was able to carry my weight from 154 to heavyweight. You know how to do it right, then your weight, your punch will come with you. You don't know how to do it right, then you're going to lose your punch. So if he's a good, fundamentally sound fighter with a punch, he's going to have a punch at 130, then he's going to have a punch at 140. If he's not really fundamentally that sound, then he won't. That's why Tank is able to jump around. Tank fought between 130 and 140, whatever weight he wanted to. Why? Because he's a great fundamental puncher. So his punch can be the same no matter what weight he got on. If you are fundamentally sound, that don't matter. But if you're not fundamentally sound, then yeah, when you move up the weight, you're going to lose your punch.
That's exactly what what I thought you would say. Like, breaking that down and making understand that from 130, 135 to 140, I mean, you got to carry that power with you and how you're going to punch.
If you got fundamentals, you're going to carry it automatically. I took it all with a heavyweight from a junior middleweight.
Gervonta Davis has teamed up with a new coach, signaling a shift in how he's preparing for his upcoming rematch. This change shows he's leveling up, leaving behind old habits for a more disciplined and refined training style. His sessions now look more structured, with a clear focus on fundamentals and building endurance. Those watching him train have noticed a renewed sense of commitment, a sign that Davis understands the stakes and is doing everything he can to win.
Yo, what's going on, fight fans? Check it out. It looks like Gervonta Davis has a new coach. Now, this is Coach Mustafa. He's a well-known coach down in the Atlanta area, and it looks like he's starting to train with him. I know he has that upcoming rematch coming up. It looks like it's slated for June. Now, this coach is known for his working on timing, precision, accuracy. Those are some of the things that this coach is well known for. He's also been training Kevin Farmer for his past two fights. Now, what does this mean for Tank? Is he leaving Coach Kyle and Coach Kenny, or is he adding Coach Mustafa to the team? Is it smart to switch trainers so close to a fight? Let me know what y'all think down in the comments below.
Many believe Gervonta Davis wasn't himself in the first fight, whether it was due to distractions or a strategy that didn't work. Fans and experts agree he didn't fight at his highest level. But now, with his reputation and legacy on the line, Davis seems more locked in than ever. His recent moves make it clear he's out to prove a point and shut down any critics. This time, he's not just aiming to win, he's coming to make a bold, undeniable statement.
So breaking news, Tank Davis vs. Lamont Roach 2 is set for August 16th in Las Vegas. And this is a rematch of one of the most controversial fights in recent memory, where Roach arguably won 7 to 8 rounds of that fight, and then Tank took a voluntary knee in round 9, which wasn't ruled a knockdown, but ultimately, it was scored a majority draw. Now in the rematch, I do expect Tank to look much better than he did in the first fight. I don't think that was his best performance by any means. And that means being more active in the early rounds, not just staying on the ropes looking for counters. And I'm sure he'll be willing to exchange more with Roach this time around. The left hands, the combinations, the body shots, that's where he had the most success in the first fight. And Roach, he just needs to stick to what made him so successful in the first fight. His forward pressure, staying behind that jab and right hand. But most importantly, he wasn't scared to take it to Tank, but he also didn't get too aggressive. Most of Tank's opponents, if they're scared of the power, they'll sit back on the ropes, get slowly broken down, or if they end up getting too aggressive, they get caught with the counterpunch. But Roach, he was sharp that whole fight. I would go Tank in the rematch. I think he has a lot more to show this time around. But Roach did prove to be a very tough test. But you guys let me know who you got.
Experts and fans alike have picked up on Gervonta Davis's silence lately. While Lamont Roach has been busy giving interviews and staying active on social media, Davis has kept a low profile. Many believe this quiet approach is no accident. It's a sign that he's fully focused and grinding behind the scenes. The contrast between Roach's public presence and Davis's silence has fueled talk that Tank is preparing to make a serious statement when they meet again in the rematch.
Oh yeah, so we hearing that they got the fight set and scheduled, and it's going to be in Vegas, and it's going to be this August. So yeah, it's basically just been reported. I'm not gonna lie, we knew it was gonna happen because they both said they down to do it. They both said they got to do the rematch because it was too close. All I'm gonna say is, I'm hoping that boy Tank, because he been quiet lately. Lamont, you been yapping. Talking about you should have won. You keep dwelling on that little almost close win. That boy Gervonta, that Tank, he been... We ain't never seen Tank in this mode. I will say that Lamont, you're a very skilled fighter. But you should be nervous because we ain't never seen Tank like this. He quiet. Like, he's literally hushed, bro. You just see him training. And now out of nowhere, he's like, hey, bro, we can set the fight up. That's actually dangerous. That's actually dangerous when you think about it. Like, dude ain't said a word. Even once the fight was over and pressed, he got the little hat on. He like, yeah, I mean, we could do the rematch. And he said it. I'm going to go in the gym and I'm going to train. I'm going to just be quiet and work. Good match to Lamont. I ain't going to lie. If I was Lamont, I'll be a little nervous. You ain't got to be scared, but I will be a little nervous because usually Tank, he the one that's like, yeah, don't bring your moms to the fight. Don't bring your peoples to the fight. Dude been real hush-hush lately. I'm not going to lie, y'all. They said the fight set up for August. I might have to go to this one in person. In August is my birthday month. I might have to go to this one in person, bruh. Because this right here, at this point, they're rivals now. This is like the perfect boxing story. They come from the same side of the the mat, come from the same gym and camp. I'm not gonna lie, they've been at it since they was kids. This like the perfect boxing story, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. We might have to be in there in person. But like I said, y'all already know how I go. When it come down to it, I'm putting my money on my boy Tank. Lamont, you definitely are skilled. And I'm going into this fight knowing that basically I know you're going to put up a good one. But I got my money on Tank. We ain't never seen Tank like this, bro. Dude quiet, and he ain't saying nothing. The fight just got booked. Oh, yeah.
Trainer Greg Hackett was blunt in his recent remarks, calling the rematch a do-or-die moment for both fighters. He believes the fight is evenly matched, meaning both Davis and Roach have to be at their absolute best. Hackett stressed that even the smallest slip-up could cost Davis the victory. He emphasized the importance of staying sharp, locked in, and bringing full intensity to the ring. This time, there's no room for overconfidence or mistakes. Everything has to be on point.
Rumors of what's going on in Tank's camp and, trading with this person, trading with that person.
Yeah.
Who has the edge heading into the rematch?
Neither one of them. Lamont, you know what? I'm lying. 55-45, Lamont.
Why?
Lamont got the edge because he already did the unexpected. He was supposed to get knocked out coming up from 130. And not only did he not get knocked out, he performed and possibly won the fight. That's what some people believe. I thought it was a very close fight. I think, but after you asked me that question, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I think Lamont do have a slight edge just because he did what he wasn't supposed to do. So a lot of people go in there and they very obedient to Tank's power, and Lamont wasn't that night. Lamont wasn't having it, and he said he wasn't having it. He said it before. Y'all tripping. Y'all must be really like tripping. So I guess we was tripping.
Could we see the most focused Gervonta Davis after him getting so much backlash for the performance, for the taking the knee, etc.?
This would be the night we have to see the most focused Tank Davis. Because if he's not the most focused, then he gonna be in trouble. It's just that simple. This is the night you gotta be not on your A game, you gotta be on your everything game. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have everything with you that night. And you can't play about it. And you gotta mean it. Every step gotta be counted for. And he know that. So I'm looking for this just to be a great fight. Great fight.
Former champion Mikey Garcia took a more cautious stance when talking about the rematch. He pointed out that Gervonta Davis has a history of learning from his mistakes and expects him to be better prepared this time around. Garcia praised Davis's ring IQ, but warned that all the skill and training won't matter if his mindset isn't right. Mental slip-ups, he said, could ruin everything. In fact, Garcia went so far as to say that if Davis isn't fully locked in, he shouldn't even step into the ring.
I think Tank wins in the rematch.
Why?
I think he'll make the right adjustments, and he won't take too long to fight. He kind of gave a lot of the round away sometimes. I think he'll be more active and he'll win. But big props to Roach for his last fight and performance. Fuck, surprised everybody.
Right.
I think he was robbed from the victory. Again, that knockdown should have been a knockdown.
Right.
But whatever, he gets a rematch, you know. And maybe they get a third fight, you know, after that. Who knows?
Yeah. Maybe it turns the market back out.
Maybe it turns out to be another great fucking matchup, and they say, you know what, let's run it back.
Right.
And maybe that controversy from the first fight actually helps Roach fucking get 3 fights out of it instead of just the one, or you know, you never know. So hey, things happen for a reason, and I think he did really well in his first one. Hopefully he puts on a great fight, even if he were to lose, but in a great fight. Shit, he'll get a third fight.
Right.
You know?
Mikey, what do you make of him saying he wants to go to therapy to fix his mental health, but not yet because he doesn't want to get fixed yet because he needs that edge?
I'm not a psychiatrist, bro. I don't know. Everybody's a little different. What I got to say is, if you're dealing with any mental health, it seems to be a very common thing. I mean, if you don't feel that you're 100% dedicated or 100% capable of blocking out, you know, personal life issues or whatever to get in the ring, then don't get in the ring. Don't get in the ring. Now, if you're,
it seems like a lot of fighters are going through stuff and they get in the ring.
If you're going through stuff and you feel like maybe it's helping, like he says, maybe it's helping him do it, let him do it. I don't know.
Kenny Ellis, a longtime coach in Gervonta Davis's corner, reacted to Roach's intense training videos with a mix of respect and realism. He acknowledged that Roach is clearly working hard, but pointed out that looking sharp in the gym doesn't always translate to fight night. According to Ellis, Davis's success isn't just about fitness, it's about taking punches, staying focused under pressure, and having the heart to push through. In his view, raw determination beats flashy training every time.
You see a different Lamont Roach coming into this fight?
No, I don't. I tell people all the time, no offense, this is not a Lamont Roach, but a fighter can do everything in the gym, man. They can do their push-ups, their pull-ups, they can run 10 miles a day, they can eat their diet, they can change their diet, they can do everything right, but it have to be in your DNA to take pain. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Are you willing and able to take the pain that come with this shit? That's for any fight. You know?
Right.
And that's the difference in a lot of the fights. You gotta be willing to take the pain that come with it.
Now,
in the actual fight, not the training, in the actual fight.
the actual fight? What's the difference between, you know, the pain inside the gym gearing up to the fight versus the lights and you know, being on Showtime?
No, the workout pain, muscle sore, fatigue, that's different. But
It prepares you for those lights.
that pain in the actual fight, man, when shit get rattled, your eggs get scrambled, your eyes get blurry, fucking mouth and nose get fucked up. You know, a little bit of everything. Body shots. You just gotta be willing to take the pain and come with it. You know, getting your equilibrium every other round.
Ever since the controversial ending of their last fight, fans have been split over who really deserved the win. Some say Roach pulled it off, while others still back Davis. That's why this rematch is seen as the final answer. Both fighters are entering with something to prove, and this time, the audience wants clarity. No controversy, no debates, just one undeniable winner.
I just want to know, when is the rematch going to happen at this point? Because I'm not going to lie, for it to be a whole month later and y'all still arguing over who actually won, it's just really like, okay, yeah, run it back, because we got to go ahead and settle this, squabble this up. I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to say neither fighter in here is shitty, okay? Because after the fight I seen on March 1st, yeah, they both was tagging shit, both getting up with each other, okay? I feel like this is the perfect match. If anybody's gonna do a rematch, you need to be there, period. And Gervonta was stinging him. I'm not gonna lie, he was stinging him. Great fight for him. But I'm not gonna lie, he came out knowing what he was trying to do, y'all. Y'all have to give it to him. Like, y'all just be hating, okay? Y'all can't get in the ring and fucking fight. Y'all just be hating. At least I'm giving him no day props, okay? Because Gervonta had a great fight. Don't get me wrong. My money was on him. But I think what messed him up was the fact that when he came out, y'all know he usually be 2 steps ahead. He was 3 steps ahead. I feel like he already had Tank figured out. And he definitely was not expecting that. And him, on the other hand, I think he came in really having something to prove. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Like, it was a really good fight, and I feel like this is how I see it. In the beginning of the fight, he was stinking, back to back, you know what I'm saying? And then at the end of the fight, that's when he finally kicked it up. But I seen consistency through him through the whole fight. Not gonna lie, like, so I just feel like the rematch should happen because never know. He might, now that he was 3 steps ahead, become 8 steps ahead, and he might really knock his butt down. But at the end of the day, it's like, we need this rematch because I don't think this is ever gonna be a dispute that is settled and, you know, officially he won, he lost until they fight. Like, we gotta see it.
This time around, the pressure on Gervonta Davis is heavier than ever. If he falls short again, especially without a clear excuse, it could seriously impact how he's seen in the boxing world. One loss can be brushed off as a rough night, but a second in a high-stakes rematch could lead people to question his place among the sports elite. His legacy, pride, and future are all on the line. Davis has no choice but to rise to the moment, because this fight could define how he's remembered for years to come.
The rematch happening or what? Because I'm ready to see a motherfucker get knocked out again. I'm not here to debate because y'all really go neck and neck for this for the rest of the tournament on who y'all think really won, who y'all think should have won, who y'all think didn't win. This is probably one of the biggest debates that will never be solved. Well, they put up a good fight, I'm not gonna lie, y'all, but damn near seemed like it was set up for them to have another match. Because exactly what Lamont did to Tank the whole first half, that's what Tank did to Lamont the whole second half, so what the fuck? It literally went neck for neck. I feel like it was a tie in my opinion. So hard to even say that though, because you just see so much demolishment from one, and then for it to flip to the other, and it just had your mind like, what? It's really had your mind blown. Like, what the fuck? I feel like when it came to the decision on the fight, a lot of people were real biased. A lot of people definitely went off of just their personal opinion of the person, their history of liking the person, not off of the fight itself. I will admit that really going into this fight, the first time, I thought Lamont was going to get his shit knocked off. I thought Tank was going to do him in. Now, although Tank did really show him something at the second half, I'm not going to lie, Lamont had him. He stuck with him the whole 12. You know anything about boxing, especially boxing a motherfucker like Tank, you know that it's a flex the last 12 rounds just as much as it is to beat a motherfucker. The fact that Lamont lasted 12 rounds with him was really getting up, I'm not gonna lie, stinging shit, all 12. It showed that this next match gonna really show who the fucking winner was. I do gotta say, Tank probably gonna come ready for him, but the fact that Lamont came ready for him, as ready for him as he did last match, I ain't gonna lie, I'm scared for both of them. This should be bigger than the Super Bowl, I'm not gonna lie. They say it's supposed to be happening in the summer, which would be a really good way to kick off the summer. And I know these two got vengeance out for each other. Regardless of growing up together and fighting together, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. The way that fight went down, I'm not gonna lie, I really feel like this is gonna be history. Like, I can't wait to watch this shit again.
Kenny Ellis has been dropping hints about big changes happening in Gervonta Davis's camp ahead of the rematch. While he's kept the details under wraps, his confident tone suggests something major is brewing. Ellis promised this fight won't resemble the first one at all, adding fuel to the growing excitement. His silence on specifics has only made fans more curious. Behind the scenes, Davis appears to be working harder than ever. With a new coach in his corner and a renewed mindset, he's under pressure to deliver and shut down any lingering doubts. This rematch with Lamont Roach has grabbed the boxing world's full attention. Analysts, legends, and even Davis's own team agree, there's no margin for error this time. While Roach continues to talk big, it's Davis's quiet focus that's making the loudest statement.
What do you see?
Both of them, like I said, they both top of the game. I see a competitive fight, nice, clean, crispy shots like the first fight.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't speak on what I seen, but the fight will be different.
Right, because you could strategize and do different things.
Yeah, it'll be different.
That's a wrap for today's video. Thanks for watching, and be sure to stay tuned for more updates coming soon.